Evening, everyone. We're here as promised. Nice to see you all again. We'll just wait for some of you to join. Okay. In the meantime, we'd like to thank you for helping our friend Emma today. Those who have put a donation to help her. But we'll wait for some more of you to join before we start going further into that. Okay. Let's see what's happening, Tom. Now, it's been a while since we've been live because we did promise to do some lives, but unfortunately, with the virus that was going around, we all had it. We had coughs and things, so we weren't really up to scratch to come on here. So do excuse the lengthy time we've had to wait, but you'd rather have us properly well to do it than waiting, and it's not so good quality. Right, Tom's just handed the phone to me. What's that on there? Oh, okay. Rusty and Linda. Ah, we're split. Okay. Is this your phone, Tom?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Your cover split. Stephen. Helen. Oh, hello, honey. Nice to see you. You know Emma, don't you? And Nikki and Marianne, Claire. Thanks very much for joining us. Ursula and blue butterfly. that's a sign to me. That is. That's my mum's symbol, blue butterfly. Sheena and Rose. There's loads of you coming on here. Thank you for joining. It's very nice of you to join us. Right, I'll hand the phone back to Tom.
Yep. Right.
Slightly delayed, isn't it?
Yeah. So we've got 2 more episodes to do of these lives, this Thursday and next Thursday.
Forward or back? Forward.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, we got 2 more episodes. It didn't really go to plan before because my mum got ill twice. Then me and Lucy both got ill as well, so it didn't really go to plan. I think a lot of people have had it. Yeah, and then the cough lingered on my mum, so yeah, we had to wait a little while, but here we are. And I don't know if you wanted to say about Emma.
Yeah. So what we're doing, for our friend Emma, she was earlier last year. She was diagnosed with cancer, and she's only a young girl, and she's got a little baby, and her partner, and obviously she's been through a very difficult time. She's had to have some chemotherapy, which has made her feel very weak, and she's not able to do the things that she would like to do to take care of the baby, which is he's little Dylan. He's so sweet as well. He's such a good little boy. And of course, just to do general daily things, she's wiped out and exhausted. And she's been through it. Well, last time I spoke to her, she'd been through 9 treatments, and I think she's a very brave lady. Emma is a psychic artist. Obviously, she draws people's guides and loved ones and gives them messages. And she's an absolute brilliant artist. I mean, her art is phenomenal, and I've known her for quite a number of years now, and she's always been helpful to me with things. So, everybody needs to help someone when they're in distress or they can't do things for themselves like they would normally do. And I feel sorry for her because she's such a young girl, and she really needs this help. So what the help is like they get somebody come in to help her with maybe the house or the cooking, or it might be some shopping for her, or and unfortunately her parents aren't really able to help her as much as they'd like to. They do their best, obviously, but her dad's not very well and her mum's got some back problems. So she's trying to cope on her own some of the time because her husband's at work, or her partner. and he has to go out work. So it's not easy for her trying to look after the little one, and she's absolutely wiped out after the treatment. So this is why we wanted to help her to be able to afford to get this help that she so badly needs. With the little one and everything else, daily tasks that she can't do after the treatment because she's not feeling at all well. I don't know what the treatment entails, but I know that it can make you feel quite unwell afterwards. So that's what this is for tonight as well. Well as you all connecting with Jonathan as you usually do on the Thursdays that we did start to do. So for those that are helping out for Emma, her name's actually Emma Louise, but she's put her Facebook as Louise, and but you can look at her Facebook. I'm sure she'll appreciate that. And I think she's done so well, trying to get through all of this with limited help, really. So
if you'd like to donate, I put the GoFundMe in the description, and thank you to everyone that have donated so far. It's really generous.
Yeah, you have been.
And
such a.
We hope you enjoy the live. If you're able to donate or not, either way, we hope you enjoy it. Someone did say, I did see a question there. Can Jonathan send healing to Emma?
Yeah, he has said that he's going to give her healing. I mean, obviously, there's so much they would do to soothe her, and in some cases, miracles happen. But it all depends on what the soul has chosen. And us here would find it difficult to think that any of us would choose something so awful as that. But I think she's a very strong woman, and she's very determined because she's got, she's a mother of a little baby, and she needs to be here for him. So if you could all send your prayers out and healing, and those healers out there, that you could send your thoughts out to Emma.
And to anyone going through that, I see someone else.
Yeah, and to anyone that's going through it right now, send your thoughts and prayers out. If you know anyone that's going through it, send your thoughts and prayers out because it's an awful disease. And nobody deserves that. It's awful.
Yeah.
So anyway, we want you to enjoy the evening apart from that. We don't want to be all sad, but we do want to help wherever we can. And we like to give our little bit back to you as well, because you support us all year round and for all of this time since we started all of this. We thank you for all your support in doing what you do to take your time out to be on here, to come to the shows, and everything else that we've been doing, been involved in. So, and I couldn't have done it without Tom and Lucy. They've been such a big support. So our thoughts go out to them because they've worked tirelessly to help bring all this together where it's got to. So we're like a little team.
Yeah.
And it's nice to keep it in the family because Lucy's part of our family now. So she's my daughter-in-law now officially. So yeah, another one addition to the family. Yeah. So what are we going to do next, then, Tom? Are we ready to begin, or do you want to wait for a few more?
Yeah, we're ready to begin when you're ready.
Okay, so what's going to happen is the usual. I'm going to relax and go into trance, and then Tom and Lucy will keep an eye out for your questions and ask them to Jonathan. All right, so he'll do the best that he can, and I'll do the best that I can in the background there, just relaxing. So hope you have a nice evening and enjoy, everyone, and I'll see you on the other side. Not literally, but I'll just see you there. Mhm. Hello, good evening.
So, thank you for joining us.
We are happy to be amongst you.
Thank you. We're just going to ask some questions from the live chat, if that's okay with you.
It is perfectly fine, sir. Yes, thank you.
Just to say, it's difficult to answer personal questions through YouTube, but we'll answer as many questions as we can. We do apologise if we miss any. The first question was asked by Amanda Loxley in relation to what we were talking about earlier, saying many people around here are getting turbo cancers all of a sudden. Can Jonathan shed a light on this phenomenon, please?
Yes, in a sense I can. I may not go too far into it. But, I will say that, some things that you eat are lacking minerals and lacking vitamins in them. Some people are smoking. That can cause some problems within the body, although not in all. But there are other factors that I cannot simply go into that most of you may know about that are sometimes causing these things. That some people react to different medications and some people don't, you see. So, what one is having an allergic reaction to or a terrible thing that they are reacting to in a negative way, then others may react differently and others may not. So that is the answer I'm going to give to you where that is concerned. But looking at it from a milder point of view, what you eat is what you are ingesting in a lot of your foods are additives and things that are causing a lot of health problems for some people. So therefore, it is good to eat, fresh fruit and vegetables and things and vitamins that are natural. Try and be as natural as you possibly can. And I know that it is rather expensive to live in your time, and of course you can only do your best. But to look after your health is like gold. You see, if you got your health, you can do so much more. So it is very important. So I hope that helps you, but there is only so far that I can go with certain things.
Chris has asked, has Jonathan any predictions for 2025?
Well, I do see that your governments are changing, that sort of thing. Different situations are going to come about there. I do see a lot of changes around that in the not too distant future. And of course, where the spiritual side of things are concerned, there is definitely an energy change that is going to come about. And I did speak to you before about these planetary alignments that are going to happen in the not so distant future. All of the planets are going to align, and that will really have an effect on the energy within you and around you, not in a negative way, actually, but in a positive way mostly. And of course, these people that work on these the star signs of that is that they will be giving out a lot of information about what is going to happen when these planets start to align with each other. And I gave you that, and I know that that will certainly happen. That is imminent. But I would say, other than that, I think that things are going to sort of poodle along nicely, and I believe that the summer will bring some challenges to some people, and I believe that they will get to overcome that. But coming into your awakening, I would say 2025 is a great opportunity to take the chance to realize that your mind, your body is important. And of course, how you look after it is important, and start to trust your intuitiveness. You see, start to trust that. Start to notice the signs that we will give you, which, if you ask for that, you will be given. So that is just a few of the things that I can tell you. I can only spend so much time on one particular subject.
Question. Juge McGregor said, question for Jonathan. How can we learn what our soul plan is for this particular incarnation, please?
Again, by trusting in your intuitiveness. You will not know everything because you are rediscovering yourself. And some things you have an intuitiveness that you know, or a gut feeling that you know that they are going to happen, and then it comes about. But most of you go along the same as what you did the year before. You see, you have your daily routine, and then small changes come into that each day, maybe. And then I would say that if you're going to go further, then it's looking into your spiritual self, isn't it? It's looking into your spiritual pathway, the rediscovering of you, doing the things that you enjoy doing in life that make you happy. That is what makes the 2025 better for you yourself. By giving time for yourself and also appreciating the loved ones around you, what they do for you, you see. Take note of that. Spend time together, be together when you can. So this year is about realizing who you are, the empowerment of your consciousness, and the importance of those people that you love around you and yourself.
Thank you. The next question is sort of a personal one, but it's one that for most people that have lost pets will probably find comfort in the answer, as well as it would account for all pets that have passed. But Granger has asked that they've lost their beloved dog Izzy at Christmas time, and asking if she's okay on the other side.
She is absolutely fine. She's beautiful. She is with a lot of the other dogs that have previously passed within the family. And I do say that she is with other animals. So they are all mixing together. All sorts of animals from all sorts of places in the world come together. And I will say to you that she's perfectly happy. She's playing in the meadow with the other pets and animals. And I must say that, like most, she comes and sits on the end of your bed so she can break all of the rules now, can't she? She loves to sit on the end of your bed and be with you.
Stephen Young ask about our family of ETs.
Yes, you mean extraterrestrials.
Yeah.
Well, as I always say, the universe is so vast and infinite and eternal that you are simply not the only ones in the universe. I keep telling you of that. Some people do not believe, so we will not force them to believe. But I think a lot of what goes on this earth is, some of it is particularly man-made and others are not, you see. So they can be anywhere and everywhere, but it depends on atmospherics. If they were going to dwell upon the earth, they would have to live somewhere beneath the earth, perhaps. But one might say that there are millions and millions and millions of stars within the universe. Now you imagine counting them. More than grains of sand upon a beach, they say, don't they? Well, that is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. And there are many other existences of other life forms elsewhere, whether they, even if they are not human, even if they are small mammals or they are small water creatures, they exist.
Claire has asked, why do people harass and stalk? I'm trying to understand the higher learning, if you could help me, please.
People harass and stalk. It depends on the nature of that. You see, so someone may harass a person because they are particularly jealous of them, and they want to control them in some sort of way. Others are not wanting to be away from that person, so they may have gone in a different direction through a relationship, and then all of a sudden they realize that they are missing that person. They want them back, so they're going to make their life hell until they get them back. You see, that sort of thing. And they get obsessed with it, and they want to take control of the situation, or they are frightened of being alone without that person, and they want to take control of the situation once again. They want to love them again, and that other person may not want to. So there are many avenues of that sort of thing, and of course there are the more negative side of looking at things. There are people that like to stalk people because they want to do not so nice things. So, of course, we want to look to the positive side of things, but those are, some of the descriptions of why people may behave that way.
Victoria said, "Good evening, Jonathan. Can you tell us anything about the mystical Shambhala?"
Would you say that again, sir?
Can you tell us anything about the mystical Shambhala?
Shambhala, that is wonderful. I do believe that most things are mystical, and I would say there are so many mystical things in life, and that I believe that that sort of thing has been going for centuries. Yes, I don't have much on the subject of that, but look into the magic of many things in life, and you will be realizing that there is more to it than meets the eye.
Angela has asked, is everybody's spirit guide their twin soul?
No, no. Some of those beings may have been a father, a mother, a brother, a sister, etc. In other lifetimes, they may have swapped roles, you see. So some of them may have been connected to you within family unit from previous lifetimes. Yes.
Cherie, Dance in the Dark, said, can our loved ones come to us with messages in our dreams?
Yes, they certainly can. Because sometimes when you enter into the astral, sometimes these beings will come down to the astral and meet with you. And it will seem very lucid because they can hold you, you can hold them, you can have conversations with them. It is usually a very brief moment, but then it is also very poignant because you won't forget it and you will hold on to that. So it is wonderful that they can come and be with you. And yes, it happens all of the time.
A question related to that is, how do you know if it's actually a real visit from spirit?
You would know because you are dreaming about them. And most dreams that you have are dreams about your subconscious that will speak to you about things you may need to look to in your life, your fears that you may need to let go of. So when it comes to being with your loved ones, if you can touch them and feel them physically, they are definitely there.
Helen has asked, can we avoid cancer by changing diet / what we eat?
Oh, yes. You know, if you nurse your body back to its health, if you look to what you are eating, I would not say overdo something because everything should be in moderation. So, you know, I wouldn't say, well, you've got to get a whole cabbage and eat it all in one go. You know, you've got to, portion everything. But I would say to you that if you eat your vegetables organically and your fruit organically, or you could grow your own, you see. So if you eat the fruits of the earth and the vegetables of the earth and the foliage of the earth and the herbs of the earth, you will help to heal yourself.
Dawn Connolly asked, hi Jonathan, when you first started speaking through Elaine, was your voice as perfect as it is now, or did it take some time?
I must say it did take some time. It was very, I had to get some sort of expression into my particular communion with people. And so therefore it did take a little bit of time, but she knew it was me. Yes, it was definitely me and it still is me. And of course, with development and time and perseverance, then it became like this.
House of Love Yoga has asked, hello Jonathan, please may I ask, is love a way to change the reality of our life? Does it open the door to spirit?
Love is beautiful. I would include the word love in the word evolve. If you mix the letters around, it is evolvement. Love is evolvement, an evolvement of the soul within the human experience as well. So therefore, love is beautiful, and it is expressed in many different ways. You don't always have to be hugging a person to love them. It is what you do for them and how you treat them is as loving them. If you wanted to help an elderly person across the road, that would be a form of love because you're caring for them, you're nurturing them, you're helping them, you're putting them to safety. And they would love you for that, even though it may be brief and you do not know them. You know, the love that you have for each one members of your family is not the same. Because the love that you have for your brother is not the love that you would have for your mother. You express love in so many different ways that it's beautiful. And the more that you give it to yourself and then express it to others, then the better you shall be.
Sally Stars asked, Jonathan, can you comment on the timeline split, please?
Yes. You know, I would say to you, you speak about parallel universes, don't you? You speak about that. You have so many portals on your Earth. It's unreal, you would say. But it's true. You have portals. You have time slips. Yes, that's absolutely real. It's true. You know, you may have a time slip for 1 millisecond. You see? And you have what you call deja vu, don't you? You have realization of the, well, I'm sure we've had this conversation before in this room before and said this and done that before and been here before. Yes. So all of it is so connected. But yes, time slips can happen. I would say that to you. You say time split. I would say, like a slip of time. Yes.
Cheryl asked, when Elaine thinks about you and you are busy, maybe chatting with a friend, how do you hear Elaine, and do you just stop what you're doing to come to Elaine?
Well, if she is requesting for me to be with her, I am just a thought away, you see. So her thought I can hear, and if she calls me out, I will instantaneously be there because I can bilocate. I can be anywhere that I wish to be because the thought is free.
Marta has asked, hi Jonathan, what does it feel like when we leave our body? Are we still ourselves? Is it like walking into another room? Thank you.
Yes, I'm wondering if he means leaving your body as in outer body experience, or when you leave it, when you're going to pass over to the spirit realm. So it would be of a sort of a similarity, so to speak. But if you're going to have an outer body experience, you feel totally free. You're able to roam around. You're able to fly around within dream states sometimes. You're having an outer body experience. It is very light and relieving and freeing. I must say that you could just think of something and you would instantly be there. That is how it feels. It feels wonderful. Not to have the weight, the densified energy and feeling of the physicality and the limitations of it, because once you become free that way, you have no limitations, because the physicality and the ego are what cause the limitations, so to speak. But therefore, you are still having the experience of the physical because you chose to. And there are two sides to every experience, two sides to everything. There are always two in the way of opposites.
Thunder Higher Self asked, when and how does the soul make a contract with their parents?
Before they come here. Yes. All of the souls gather together, and they might say to one another, well, I'm going to be your mother, and I'm going to incarnate into the world before you do, and then years later you come, you've made your plan for that person to be your mother and father and cousins and uncles, and they will come previous to you, and then you will come when the time is right to join them. So every soul makes the plan in union with that soul group. The soul groups aren't segregated from the other soul groups, but when you talk about soul groups, they are the souls that incarnate as a family unit, and those that briefly incarnate and meet you briefly are all part of that too. So everything is the greater plan.
Kay Taylor asked, it is a personal question, but it relates to a lot of people. Dear Jonathan, I drank smokes for 30 years, then gave up easily in September. Did my spirit guides help me with this? Thank you for being here.
Well, they would have helped you, and they would have reminded you that you were going to go there, but you had no knowledge of it then. And they give you determination and help should you ask for it. But the decision at the time was yours, and you were strong enough to make it and to keep to it. So I would say, well done to you. You are an example and an inspiration to others.
Stoshu has asked, hi Jonathan, can we be the opposite sex in a past life?
Oh yes, of course, you take on many roles in each and every lifetime. So you could be a father to someone in the previous life, and then you could be the son in the next life, or you could be the mother in the next life, or the daughter in the next life. You see, so that's how it goes. Yes. Well, you've done it now, sir, haven't you? Yes, it wasn't a success. Yes, I did make Elaine jump a little bit, I must say. But yes, of course, you do swap roles in each and every lifetime. Yes.
How can we learn to have an out of body journey?
I believe that by relaxing and meditating and trusting that you know that you will always come back to your body, so there's nothing to fear. It has happened to some people randomly, and they have become very fearful of it and very quickly come back into their body and felt kind of perturbed by the experience and fearful. But there is absolutely nothing to fear, you see, because you are attached by a sort of an umbilical cord where your solar plexus area is, and that is the silver cord. And unless that detaches, you are not going to go to the heavens. You'll go back to your body. But you can have a wonderful experience with an outer body experience. And once you become adapted to it and you feel safe with it, that is fine. But it does take a little bit of practice.
Maria Russell asked, "Hi all, can Jonathan explain the purpose of Stonehenge? Many blessings."
Stonehenge, very historical. And I do believe that is all about synchronicity, you see. Around the world, there are what you call ley lines. And these ley lines, all of churches were built upon mostly ley lines. And they were all perfectly aligned around the world without they realized it, because they all built them on the ley lines, connected ley lines. Now, you would think, how would they know where the ley lines are in those days? But they went by energy. You see, they were also helped by other beings. And so, therefore, you might think, well, how did they get those stones there? How would they have got horses to drag those stones? It would have been almost impossible. But they had all sorts of ropes and pulleys and things that would help them. It was a very dangerous thing to do. You know, in some of these buildings, people would have passed away and been injured within it. But you will be surprised at the knowledge that they had and the strength that they had and the help that they had, of course. So that was all about ley line connections and spiritual connections through these ley lines, because you think that ley lines are negative. They're not. You know, sometimes people are affected by ley lines, but of course they were all built upon it. And it was a spiritual connection, you see. It was about a spiritual connection.
Ming Ming asked, "Why is childbirth so painful?"
Well, that is the physicality of it, isn't it? When you are giving birth, the muscles inside the womb, they contract, you see, and they contract really, really strongly in order to push the baby out of the womb into the world, you see. So those muscles become very tight and they contract, so, you know, very strongly, because they've got to work on pushing the baby out. You see, you've got to know that your body is a very complex thing, very, very clever, and it is gathering this inner strength to get the muscles to contract so that the baby can be pushed into the world. And sometimes they have a little bit of trouble with it and they may need a little help, so the baby may need to be taken out by the humans with a cesarean. And that has been centuries ago, because it's all about Julius Caesar, wasn't it? So therefore, that's why it happens, because of the contractions. The muscles tighten up and strengthen themselves in order to push the baby through. That's right.
Middraw has asked, are our future lives predestined just like the current and past lives, or do we plan the future next life after we return back to the other realm?
Your lives are all pre-planned, as I have explained to you. And sometimes, if you wish to stay in the heavens for many hundreds of years, you will do. And then all of a sudden you may decide to come back to the earth for some sort of spiritual growth. And then the others that are going to be with you decide to come back to the earth. So the plan begins that you would preconceive your life again.
John Madden asked, "Hi Jonathan, when people are made saints on Earth, do they still be saints in the spirit world?" Kind regards, John.
Well, there's no such thing as a saint, really. Everyone has an ego, and everyone lives negatively and positively and expresses their emotions in those ways. So, they're only named saint on the earth. You would say Saint Germain because maybe he was Saint Germain on the earth, you see. But saint is just a word. It doesn't make them perfection in human behavior, but it just is a name that was given as a saint because they saw them as a person that they would perhaps look up to. Yes.
Lisa has asked, Jonathan, what are your thoughts on angel numbers? Is it angels who send them, or is it our guides?
Well, the guides and the angels, but mainly the angels, because they will send things in a symbolic manner. So most people will look up what these numbers and meanings are spiritually, and then they will find the answers to them, you see. The most common one is 1111, so that is leaving behind the old and embracing the new, isn't it? The two side by side, letting go of one and embracing another. And it is good to make your wishes when you see 1111, that are positive wishes for your life, because that is most beautiful connection, 1111, letting go and accepting. When you come to 555, which is a one of change, you see, so accepting change and accepting that you're on the right path will be mostly the answers that you are given there, and to trust in that journey.
Feli asked a question: how can we increase our connection to our guides?
By trust again, trust in you, trust in your ability to connect with the spirit realm, and perhaps, as I mostly mention, asking your guides to send you signs without you go looking for them. You don't need to. They will send them to you, and all of a sudden, one day you'll hear some music, or you'll turn your head, and there'll be something in perfect divination for you that your guide is present with you.
Helios has asked, hello, Jonathan, what do people in the spirit world eat?
We don't need to eat. We do not have a constitution. We do not have a physical body to keep alive, you see, so we are just the consciousness. And if we were to express a memory of something, for instance, if I enjoyed a little glass of sherry, I may want to remember that. And the thought and the memory comes to you, but you have no desire. You don't need to eat or drink or anything of that nature. That is only a physical thing.
Question from Ming Ming: why do some people end up as murderers? Why would they choose this?
Yeah, so there's a bit of a negative subject, but one might say that they have chosen, and of course the soul is the one that has the free will, not the human, and they may have come from a lower realm, and they may have chosen to experience the greater depths of negativity, you see? And looking at it from a point of view, you may say, well, why would the person that is being, the perpetrator, doing such a bad thing, they had chosen to be that way through their free will, through their experience of the greater depths of the negativity, working through to the greater heights of the positivity. So therefore, they may have chosen, and it may not be so far advanced as to say that they had chosen the greater depths of negativity and depravity to do such things. And that other soul may need to make an exit, so they had chosen to make it that way. And to teach the other person that it's not a good thing to go into the greater depths of depravity from a human point of view, but from the soul point of view. They are trying to teach them something, and you cannot have the greater understanding of it. I would be here all night trying to explain it to you. Why, you see? So there are whys and wherefores with everything, and there is a greater purpose, you see. Each and every soul chooses how it's going to make an exit. And, for most, it is a general exit, maybe an illness, maybe a disaster that happens on the earth that a group of souls, a mass of souls, choose to go across in a similarity of way. That happens quite a lot. And one might say they may choose to go across in such a terrible way. You see, it's not nice. It's not a nice way. And that soul has been very brave to perhaps make the exit that way. And one might say, well, why would they choose such a barbaric way? But the answer to that is the soul's decision. because something greater may come out of that, you see. You wouldn't think that at the time, but something greater may come out of it. You may get a union of people that have been through a terrible thing with their families. One of their families being murdered may come together and they may unite together and help one another through this life. And they have done so, yes.
Martina has asked, is it possible for angels to incarnate into a human body?
No, they don't. No, no. Angels are beings of light that remain that way. I usually call them God's army of love, and they are there to be assigned to you. Most of the angels will be assigned to the souls that are going to come into the human existence, and they will be beside them for the entirety of their lives here.
Rose Harvey asked, "Hello, Jonathan. Is belief the key to self-healing?"
Yes, it is. It is. You may see a person, they are told they will never walk again, as an example. And they say to themselves, well, I don't want to be like that. I am not going to listen to that. I'm going to have great determination. I'm going to heal and I will walk again. And they end up getting out of the wheelchair and walking again. Now, in some cases, it would be impossible, you see, but most, you use your power of your mind, and it is so powerful that you could heal yourself.
LT has asked, are cats higher beings?
All animals are, yes. They come to show you unconditional love. They have their own fears to overcome. Yes, some of them. They will have fears. And they are here to help overcome them. And they are here to help you understand unconditional love.
Claire asked, question, can you tell us about the polarity shift, what is going to happen and how long does it until it does happen?
Well, sometimes it is not an immediate thing. Sometimes it is a gradual thing. You see? But it would still be felt. And I don't believe it's going to be for some time. Not yet. A lot of people will try to put that fear into you. We're going to have this, we're going to have that. The earth will do things when she wants to. And of course, if there was going to be a pole shift, you would all know about it. One might say, well, if that's going to happen, is it going to be the end of the world? Would we all drown with tsunamis and that sort of thing? That's a possibility that they would cause tsunamis, yes. But at the present time, it isn't going to happen.
Shrewsbury Woman has asked, how do we help heal others, please?
By setting an intention. You don't always have to be present with them. It is nice if you are able to, but if you are not, by setting an intention and asking for healing to be sent to them through your energy, it is a wonderful thing. So give it a go. You see, energy travels, and it is like switching a light on. It's quicker than the speed of light. A thought is quicker than the speed of light. So therefore, the instant thought is the instant action.
An Ordinary Life asked, hello, Jonathan, how do you protect yourself against narcissists? Thank you.
You know, I seem to think that people like that word these days, don't they? Narcissist. You know, the English language is very strange, isn't it? But one might say that I would put it as a person that seems to want to control situations. And I would say that they need to love and look to themselves rather than try to control another. But I think that everyone has a little bit of that within them sometimes, and others are more noticeable, you see. They may do it for longer periods of time, and if they have fear of losing control, you see, so they want to control something because then they feel that they are safe by controlling it. Then they feel that they can control someone else, you see. They feel that they are safe and they don't want to lose this control and they don't want to lose that person, so they start to control them. And that other person isn't going to particularly like it. So they're not doing themselves any favors by doing it.
Heather has asked, hi Jonathan, if our soul chooses a predetermined path when we reincarnate, how does free will play into this?
Well, because the soul has the free will, not the human. The human is the overcoat for the soul, as I say. It is the temple for the soul, whatever you want to put it as. But the body doesn't live eternally. It is only fleeting. And the soul lives eternally, and it is the soul that is making the journey. So therefore, the soul has the free will. Now, could you imagine if your being, your name is God, whatever your name your God has, took that away from you, how that would feel? You know, it's bad enough being controlled on the earth, isn't it? And you feel like you are hemmed in and you want to break free. Well, imagine if the soul didn't have a free will. How would you plan the life? You wouldn't. So therefore, that soul is free will, complete freedom to roam, be wherever it wants, and to plan a life. You see, that's where it comes from.
So I'd say, just quickly before I ask the question, thank you to anyone that's donated towards Emma, and if anyone would like to, it is in the description. And the next question, Lisa Fenn asked, Jonathan, when many souls pass at the same time, perhaps in a natural disaster, do the seraphim come en masse to collect those souls?
Yes, they do, yes. And the seraphim, you say, are the higher beings that from the higher realms. They do come and collect the souls, yes. They would never be abandoned.
Helen has asked, can anyone become psychic or clairvoyant, and how does one practice that?
You all have it within you. You all have the ability to connect with that world because you are from that world. You see, and you go back to it. So therefore, some may have chosen not to have that experience in this lifetime. They may have chosen to have more earthly outlooks of experiences, and so therefore can become skeptical, and may do for the entirety of their life. And some may change halfway through their lives, or they may see spirits as children, souls come to visit them. Yes. So the way that you can connect is, again, is trust in you and connect through meditation, all sorts of ways that you can connect. You may talk to us, you may ask us. We will answer you in some way.
1G asked, how to tell if my angel is with me? What are the signs? Thank you, Jonathan.
Well, again, they may show you those numbers that we were speaking about earlier, and they will show you many signs. Again, just like the spirit guides, the guardian angels will show you signs. You may turn a corner and see an angel in a drawing or something. There are many ways in which you could experience it, through music, anything. So don't go looking for it, but know that you may turn your head and just see something of a sign that will be sent to you. A feather, yes, a butterfly, all those sorts of things.
The Pursuit of Happiness has asked, is there a predetermined minimum time a soul returns between incarnations?
No, there isn't, because one soul returned as much as 2 years later after passing to the spirit world because he realized that there was something that he had to complete, and came back to live a life because he wanted to live a life, and of course wanted to let his children from the previous life know where the money was, you see. So that is actually a true story. There was another story of a perpetrator. Somebody murdered them. They passed to the spirit world. They came back very, very quickly to bring the perpetrator to justice, and he was brought to justice. That's right. And so that person, that soul, was able to come here and live another life as they would have wanted to. Because the other person had to learn that they were terrible in doing such things and that they weren't going to get away with it. So sometimes they come back very quickly if they have a purpose or a reason. But it is quite a rare occasion, yes. Most stay in the spirit realm and they will not come back here, but some will. And that is not countable because there are many millions and millions of souls that come back to the earth.
Julie Chapp has asked, would Jonathan come back to Earth if he thought he was really needed here? Would he consider it again?
No, I wouldn't come back again. There are plenty of things that I can do from the other side. I have no desire to come back.
Excuse me, sorry. Karen has asked, Jonathan, do you come across many humans visiting the spiritual world through hypnotherapy, life between lives experiences?
Yes, we certainly do. Quite a lot, actually. We are always there to help many of you. In many ways that you would think that we were not there, but we are. We do help you on your journeys and your experiences. We are there for you.
Kathy asked, how is it possible to connect with departed loved ones if they've chosen to reincarnate?
Well, that is an explanation you may not believe, but I will tell you that you are all multifaceted. And I have explained this before, but you may not have heard it, that because you are multifaceted, a spark of you remains in the spirit realm. You see? And when you go to the heavens and your loved ones reincarnate, you will say, well, I will see you shortly, but a spark of you remains here. So a little piece of you remains within the spirit realm, and the rest of you comes here.
Kath has asked, how is it possible to connect with departed loved ones if they have chosen to reincarnate?
Yes, I think you've just asked me that, my dear. Yes,
Wealth
Sorry.
of Wisdom
that's
asked,
all right.
can you do mediumship if you're born again?
Yes, you can. Yes. If you choose to come here and have a spiritual experience in some way or another, or to be a medium, that is very possible. Yes. Going back to that question about the how do you communicate with them, you will be able to communicate with a facet of them, because that will always be there.
Thank you.
Sonny asked about the LA fires and what caused them. What is behind the LA fires?
Well, again, there are only certain things that I could go into. There's only so much that I could say publicly. But sometimes these things can be caused by, perpetrators, and other times it can be natural situations. It is difficult to tell, isn't it, with the situation that is going on. But there are a number of things going on that you could trust your intuitiveness with, shall we say. That some things are happening with humans and some things aren't. But I believe that many truths will come to the surface.
Angela has asked, hello, Jonathan. Please, can I ask what professional role did you have on Earth?
Ah, yes, sometimes people do ask me that. Well, my father had a business that he was able to grow over the years, and that became a very lucrative business of the horses and carriages, that we would hire out the carriages for the gentry, and sometimes we would work with the funeral people in order to have the body taken to the burial site. We would use the carriages, you see, to take them there. And my father built that business over many years, and of course, myself being his son was able to help along as I came to an age that I was able to. We lived well, yes. Through all of the hard work, it wasn't an easy task. But as time grew, we were able to employ more workers to help out. We were able to have maids in the house. That sort of thing.
Silver Knight asked, how does one deal with estrangement between a parent and a child?
Well, that is one that is a complication, isn't it? Because it depends on the situation and what is going on. Sometimes you have the other parent that is hanging on to the child and sort of telling them certain things to keep away from that person because they may be a bad person or they're not. I do see that sometimes a chain is broken and another direction for that child or that adult to go in is to be experienced. But the love that you hold for them can be very frustrating if they have a difference of opinion and choose to go in another direction. But you see, even though you give birth to your children, you see them as your children, but they're actually souls that have free will, and they don't belong to anyone. So therefore, if they're going to make their own decision to go in a different direction, and they choose not to come back in your direction, it is very hurtful, but not a lot that you can do about it unless they make the decision to turn their minds around. And it can happen, yes.
Will Jones asked, how does the law of attraction work with our pre-planned soul blueprint?
Ah, well, you are just reminding yourself of what you already chose. You are, sort of taking you back to reiterating that, but you forgot about it. Became an exciting concept. You could draw these things into your life, but you're also remembering your plan subconsciously. You see, oh, I wish to have a fancy home, and then if your soul had planned to have that fancy home, then that fancy home would come to you. You see. You desire to have many things in life, but the most important thing is that you have your health, you have your family, you have your love for yourself and others. And of course, you are able to survive through all of that. Because when you go from here, you'll leave it all behind.
LT has asked, why are animals used as food and suffer so much when they have souls?
Yes, that is the humans, I'm afraid. They always have the understanding that the cavemen ate meat, but they actually didn't. They ate vegetation most of the time. And as time grew on, they thought, well, if we kill the animals, will that give us vitamins? But these animals, these beings, know where they're going to, and they have fear, just like other animals may have fear. And of course, maybe the humans in time will see that, if they have any empathy. They just come to know that if they eat meat, it may be good for them. It may supply them with vitamins. I ate meat in my life, so I didn't have the understanding then. That was all we knew, you see. Back in those days, most of us ate meat. We saw it as a staple part of our diet. We ate vegetation. We ate all of that. But when you come to know that each one has their own choice, that these souls of these animals are highly evolved, but they still feel fear, much like you would do.
Robert Lloyd asked, if you're having psychic attacks, how do you protect yourself and ask your guide for protection?
Well, you would naturally ask your guide for protection and your angelic beings for protection, and ask the Great One for protection. Ask Jesus for protection. You would do that. So prayer is a powerful thing, isn't it? Because prayer isn't a religion. It is in some aspects, but it is actually an intention. And if you set an intention that is positive, then that is what you will bring to you. So therefore, if you mirror it away from you, imagine a mirror in your mind and mirror that negative away from you. Don't aim it at people, because that makes you the same as them. I would say mirror it away from you and reflect love back to you instead. And if you feel that the perpetrator is somebody that you know, then reflect light and love to them. Although you may not feel like it because you are agitated and angry with that particular perpetrator, but yes, reflect light to them. Don't send those same thoughts back. It may seem natural in your world to say, well, that person is awful, they're so unkind, sending me that. But, if you reflect love, it just melts everything. But in a good way, yes.
I'd say thank you, Jonathan, and thank you for everyone for watching. I think we'll have to bring back now.
Yes, of course. I have very much enjoyed the session with you, and I will speak to you all again soon. May you have a wonderful evening, and God bless you all.
Is everyone still here?
Yeah, we're still here. Just wanting to let you know, thank you to everyone. We raised £910 for Emma so far.
Wow. Well, thank you, everyone. That's very kind of you. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. Should be really pleased. I know.
Yeah, she will be.
We'll be back next week at a different time, I believe. It'll probably be around 4 p.m. So
Yeah.
and I do apologise for anyone that had their questions missed. We don't always see all the questions, so we have to work our way through them back and forth. So yeah, thank you for everyone. Thank you for your help, and thank you everyone for watching. And we'll see you again soon.
I'll see you all again soon, everyone.